So we are well into September by now, which means that most of the law schools have opened up their applications. Are you starting to think, oh my God, I have not left myself enough time. There are so many different tiny little pieces of all of these applications that I have to step in. First, it's okay, don't panic. But if you are starting to feel a little bit stressed, if you are starting to worry, if you are starting to feel a little tired, I get it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're new, my name is Alice. I'm the director of pre-law programming here at Barrier Breakers, where we specialize in first generation and minority law school application support. And today, we're going to be talking about burnout. Specifically, we're going to be talking about law school application process burnout. I have been working with law school applicants and with law students for a really long time. I know how important the application process is. I understand how stressed out you might be. I know what you might have riding on this one thing that's been taking forever. It has so many parts. I get that. I really, really do. You're not alone. There's a lot there. Also, I realize that we hear the word burnout a lot for a lot of different things. And I will be the first to tell you, I'm not a psychologist. That is not what I trained for. I work in law school admissions. So we are going to be using the super casual, very commonplace layperson definition of burnout. And for me, when I say the word burnout today, what I mean is you are just past exhausted. It's not that I stayed up late and I'm tired and I need a nap. This is more than that. It's I don't care about any of the things that I actually usually care about because I just don't have the space in my body to care about them. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably not a super fun person to be around right now. On top of feeling exhausted and uninterested and probably like you're letting people down or you're letting yourself down. Like this is, I'm tired, crank to 11. So back to the whole law school application thing. I've said it a couple of times. I'm probably going to mention it again. There are a lot of pieces to the law school application. I'm not going to get into each single solitary little one of them right now. If you need that, we've got other resources. But my guess is that if you've made it to this point, you probably have at least a general idea of all of the things that go into a completed law school application. What we're going to focus on is what to do after you've been in this process, maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe for a couple of months, maybe for a couple of years, and you've hit that wall or you see the wall coming at you that has burnout in big bold letters written across it. All right, so that's where we are starting from. Before I start talking about how you can make it better, how to make sure it doesn't happen, all of that good stuff, I want to make it abundantly clear. If you hit this point during the application process, it does not mean you have failed. It does not mean that you are incapable of being successful as a law student. It does not mean you are incapable of having a successful law school application process. Y'all, I went through this. I understand that we tend to be perfectionists. We tend to be super type A in all the best and the worst ways. Anything less than perfect, anything less than what we think is our best is failure. No. You can hit burnout levels. You can take a break. You can have a bad cycle. It does not mean that you cannot become an attorney. Does not mean you cannot go to law school. Let that sink in. Burnout does not equal failure. I'm not going to say it again, but I really need you to hear me when I say it. Now that that's out of the way, and we're back on how do I fix it now that I'm here, the very first thing is to take a deep breath, just like I did. And then I need you to step away, back away from the LSCC website. I need you to take a moment, preferably more than one moment, but I need you to take a moment and start paying attention to what's going on in your body, what's going on with you. Another word for this is self-care. Not an uncommon thing for us to hear in this day and age. In the best of ways, it means taking care of yourself. In the worst of ways, it's an excuse to do whatever you want and to treat yourself whenever you want. We're going to live in the good part of it. And this can mean a lot of different things, but at its core, for our purposes today, it means take a step away. But Alice, I have so much to do. Sure. I'm not saying you gotta take a step away for the whole day. You might need that. That's fine. I trust y'all to figure that out. But at minimum, if you are starting to realize, I am about to lose it, I am about to just throw this against the wall and give up, I need you to step back. I need you to intentionally set aside time in your day, which I know is busy. There's lots to do. I get it. I don't care if it's 10 minutes. I don't care if it's 30 minutes. Take a day. Plenty of options here. I need you to set aside at least a couple of minutes regularly. I don't care what you do in those couple of minutes, as long as it's not work. One of the other fun parts about self-care is that it is very much dependent on the person that is doing the self-care. It can be staring at the wall and just not thinking about anything for 10 minutes. It can be, in my case, for example, I'm going to go find wherever the sun is and I'm going to be in the sun. I don't care if it's just for 10 minutes. Y'all, I will be the first person to tell you that I am a solar-powered human and need the sunlight in my life, or I'm a very sad person. So if I know that I'm starting to run up against those walls and I'm about to hit that burnout word, I make it a point to find 5, 10, 15 minutes in my day. Then, pray for a sunny day. But then I go find where the sun is. It doesn't always, outside is awesome. If it's nice out and it's sunny, I quite literally have been known to just go stand in front of my house because there's sun there. That's me. Take a walk. Do a crossword puzzle. Read a book that brings you joy. There are basically 2 criteria that I've got for you. Don't do something that is physically unhealthy. We're using this kind of loosely. Basically what I mean is this is not the time for you to go run and grab the cocktail. That's for later. Do something healthy. The walk, the sitting and staring into space, the gratitude, the mindfulness, whatever it is that you want to do. Other thing is that whatever it is you choose to do should bring you calm and or joy. It is really hard to stay bleh if you've spent the last 10 minutes thinking about all of the ways and all of the things and all of the people you are thankful for, the things that you are grateful for. Forcing yourself, there's all sorts of articles and all of that. You can go find it. I'm not a professional in that sense. I've never pretended to be, but there is something to this whole gratitude thing. Spend 10 minutes identifying all the ways that you are grateful to be in the place that you are, to be the person that you are. I dare you to still be feeling bleh when you're done with that. So if you are at the point where you're I don't know what to do, I have no ideas, help. This actually brings me to my second point. So the next thing that you can do as you are starting to feel these symptoms, you're starting to be oh my God, I'm so tired. I can't do anything. Everything is terrible. I hate everyone. Lean on your friends. Talk to your people. I don't care who those people are. Roommates, family, friends, doctors, therapists, whoever. Chances are there are people in your life that care about you. Let them. If you are starting to burn out, if you are already burned out, tell the people in your orbit. You don't have to ask them for help. We're going to go back to that in a minute. But at least let them know what's going on with you. Because like I said at the beginning, oftentimes we're not super fun people to be around when we have hit that burnout level. I'm not having fun in my body. Why would anybody else be having fun around me? If you tell your friends what's up, if you tell your family what's going on, not only are they oh, no, Alice is just, she's going through it, so maybe I can help. Not, oh my God, this is awful. Why do I have to spend time with her? She's miserable. There are a ton of different ways that you can lean on your people. I mentioned telling them what's going on with you. That's super important. Let them know what's going on, why you're feeling the way you're feeling, why you're acting the way you're acting, why you're being the way you're being. The other thing is that you can let them help. And there are lots of ways to do this. Do you have a friend who's super plugged into that self-care thing that I was talking about earlier? Maybe it's their job. Maybe it's just something they're super interested in. If you're at a loss for what to go do in that 10 minutes that you have now intentionally set aside to care for yourself, ask them. Ask them for ideas. There's another type of person, and I have collected a lot of these people in my life, and I'm very grateful for them. But is there someone that you can rely on to remind you to take care of yourself? Someone that will text you and be did you spend 10 minutes doing not work? Most of the people in the world do not exist in a vacuum. Chances are there is at least a small group of people. Some people have big groups, some people have small groups, but you got people that will help you if you need it. I am one of those spectacular humans who thinks that asking for help is also a failure. It's not. It's hard. I don't want to ask for help. I can do it on my own. I don't need your help. I got it. This is how I move through my life. It is unsustainable. Let your people help. Now, on the subject of your people, this flows very nicely into my last point. And when I say let your people help, that means one thing. There's another side to this. It's not the making sure that you eat, making sure that you take the time. It's helping you out with whatever it is that you need to help with. No. It's also making sure that you set aside time to go have fun with your friends. At some point in time in your life, you had a social life. You may have put it on hold to get through the application process. Yes, that is a good strategy. You do need to devote time to filling out your law school application, studying for the LSAT, all of that stuff. And it may mean that you don't get to do all of the things that you used to do. It may not mean that you're going to dinner every single night with your friends. It may not mean that you get to go to every concert over the summer, or that you're going away every weekend. But do not stop it entirely. You will find as you get older, and I'm going to sound so much like my parents right now, it hurts me, but they're pretty smart people. I cannot stress enough to you how little you will remember about the times that you passed up on doing fun stuff with your friends. Again, I'm not saying be irresponsible, but chances are if you are running up on burnout, which is what we were talking about today, you have said no or postponed a lot of things that you maybe didn't have to. The times that you choose to miss something important for a friend, something big for a friend, something fun for a friend, you don't always get those back. There may be another one. This is not like a sob story about you must always spend time with your friends. It's hard being old. It's not where we're going. It does, however, mean that you are capable of making time for your friends. I know that you are busy. We are all busy. We all have things that we have to do. We all have things that we want to do in order to get to somewhere else. Law school application means getting to law school, means getting to be a lawyer. All of these things are important, but they don't mean that you have to completely stop doing everything else. Making time to invest in your social life, to invest in time with your friends, to invest in the people that make you happy is just as valuable. It doesn't have to be a ton of time. It may be more than like the 10 minutes that we were talking about in self-care, but like it doesn't have to be weekends if that's not feasible right now. So as we walk back through, we've covered a couple of things. Number 1, if you are feeling burned out, take a step back. Number 2, lean on your people. Let them help you. The last thing, go have fun. It is super ironic to me that I am the one that's saying you need to take a break, that you need to step away, that you should be doing this. Your girl is the epitome of a workaholic. I am terrible at recognizing when it is I need to take a break. It's something that I am constantly working on, and it's something that I've been working on for most of my adult life. I'm getting better, but I'm still not super great at it. All of these things that I've just talked through with you are things that I have experienced. When I talk about being a miserable person, it's because I was a miserable person, and I am forever grateful that I had people who were like, you are miserable for a reason, not just because that's who you are. But the last thing that I want to make sure I remind you is that I know, trust me, I know. Been talking to some applicants. It feels like the application cycle is already done. Friends, I am here to tell you it is not. Yes, rolling admissions means early is better. There are some schools that have not opened their applications yet. And yes, early is better, but that does not mean it has to be right this second. This is at its core a long game. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of you started studying for the LSAT years ago. Some of you started planning for this years ago. Some of you started planning for this months ago. Some of you started planning for this weeks ago. If you are about to hit a wall, do you really think that pushing through feeling that ick is going to turn out good application materials if you haven't already done them? Do you really want to be in the throes of burnout when you get your acceptance letter? Or worse, when you get a wait list or a deny? Do yourself the favor and remember that this is a long game. This does not mean you apply in March, friends. This still means that you send your applications in early. Rolling admissions is still a thing. It does not mean that it has to be tomorrow. It does not mean that there is not time to care for yourself. Please, if you need to step away, do it. Final thing, truly, the last one. If you need someone to give you permission to step away, I'm doing that now. If you think you need some time away from your application process in order to make sure that you do not burn out, or that if you have hit burnout and you need some time to recover, you can do this. This is me saying, yes, it is a good idea to take care of yourself. It is a good idea to step away. It is a good idea to do the thing that you need to do to get yourself back to 100%. Application will keep. So this is me saying, yes, you have my permission. You have our permission. We need to be royal weing this. You have permission to take time to care for yourself. I hope this has been helpful. I really do. I hope that after watching this, y'all are going to keep paying attention, or you're going to start paying closer attention to what's going on in your body, how you're feeling, all of that good stuff, so you can keep an eye out for burnout. And that if you start to see it, you respond accordingly. You don't just shove it down, ignore it, and say, it's fine, I got it. It's not what we're doing anymore. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe. If you know someone that's going through this process that might be in danger of burning out, or if you know someone that's not going through this process but needs a little reminder that burnout is a real thing and that it's okay to take care of yourself, share it with a friend. Talk soon.